Hi everybody, I'm Ferdinando. I was a former Aberdeen student. I took an LLM in 2012 and I'm working as a European Regulatory Affairs Manager for GE Healthcare.
Thank you. And why did you decide to study law in the first place?
So I chose law because I thought it was interesting to understand the legal framework, how they work, the implementation data, their links to the real life,
Mhm.
and probably how they can be simplified to simple concept, let's say. So I decided to I chose law because I was really interested in understanding how the legal frameworks work and their links to the real life and how everything can be narrowed down to simple concept in everybody's life.
Interesting. And why did
Mhm.
did you choose Aberdeen for your for your LLM? Why Aberdeen?
So at the time was and it's still a great place for energy. There was a huge expertise in energy law, and that's why I decided to focus on energy.
Yes. Interesting. And do you have any favorite memories from Aberdeen, like from social life?
So we had a lot of social gatherings, I remember.
Hmm.
And I remember the library was impressive, where we spent
Hmm.
a lot of time preparing for essays and exams. And I remember many situations, many nights that we had with students organizing events, and from a simple dinner to go out on the weekend. So it
Yeah.
was a nice time,
Yeah.
except for the weather, but that's
Yeah.
that's obvious.
So, and if you had to summarize your career, what would be key milestones?
So first of all, I decided to quit a local lawyer career to
Mhm.
start an international regulatory affairs. So that was the probably the first step, which is not that easy or immediate, and in fact, it took some time in order
Yeah.
to have it employed. Let's say
Mhm. Yeah.
then, being more specific on the job that I'm doing right now, I would say leading many projects related to the compliance to regulatory requirements of many health products in the European market to the new regulation and trying to stay updated and always being one step ahead of the regulators in order to see what's required from a company.
Interesting.
So that's
And how do you stay updated with changes in regulations?
that's probably the most challenging part of the job.
Hmm.
You need to stay in touch with the regulators to follow the activities of the main regulators, so the FDA, the European Commission, but
Hmm.
also the TGA and all the other, let's say, main regulators we have on a global level.
Yeah.
And this needs to be translated. So all the inputs you receive from the international environment needs to be implemented and integrated into the process and procedure that you have in your company. So that's
Yeah.
really the most challenging part.
And what role does collaboration with legal, sales, and R&D teams play in ensuring a seamless regulatory process?
That's very important because regulatory, it's just one side, let's say, of the just one part of the whole
Yeah.
picture. But in order to implement all the requirements and be able to provide safe and efficient device on the market, you need to put together sales teams,
Mhm.
legal, research and development, and all the teams that might be involved in this process. And
Mhm.
regulator has to be involved in the very early stage, let's say, of the development, because it can help you to foresee what's happening, what can happen to the device, and how to implement all the regulatory requirements.
Interesting, thank you. And well, the medical device industry is facing increased regulatory scrutiny. And what trends do you see shaping its future in the next 5 years?
So digital health technology will be the big thing in the next year.
Hmm.
We have the European Artificial Intelligence Act, which has been recently implemented by the European Union, and of course, I would say that data privacy and cybersecurity will also play an important role in shaping the future of the healthcare industry.
Hmm. Interesting. And looking back, what is the proudest moment in your career?
So that's yeah, what I said. The beginning of my career with all the uncertainties that everyone has to face through during the initial phase and the access to the job market, but being able to keep up and going through and acquiring this knowledge, regulatory knowledge of the sector day after day, in order to support companies to get their device on the market, so the device compliant, and this translate directly in
Mm.
safe devices for patient and enabling new treatments and cure for the people, so improving the well-being.
Very impressive. And what advice do you have for students who are looking to build career in regulatory affairs for medical, like medical companies?
Yeah, it's important to stay updated, be curious, be proactive in going through all the regulatory changes. Sometimes, of course, laws are boring, are long, are complex, but there are tools that allows you to really narrow down to distill simple complex of an entire regulation in order to understand what's really mattering, what you need to focus on. So that will be very interesting, and any opportunity for cross collaboration is fundamental to widen your knowledge and to meet interesting people, key opinion leaders, people that might inspire you and help you go through your career. So that will be really the advice.
And would you say networking is important in your industry, like for you?
Network, yeah,
Networking.
network. It's crucial
Hmm.
because we all together contribute to the final result of being of having medical device safe on the market. And you need to be in touch with regulators and with patient, with hospitals, with physician in order to understand how your device works and if it meets the requirement required by the environment. And in this, I think that trade association and probably are the best environment to develop your network to meet with regulators, policymakers, and other companies, CEOs. That's the place to be, and also trainings and like the RAPs are fundamental to understand what's the state of art of the industry.
Interesting. And in your opinion, what's your advice for students how to benefit from networking while they're still students? How to benefit from these connections with professionals they might have?
So, So, for example, looking back, I remember that I made a decision in my
Mm.
past, uh, and these decisions were not based on a specific advice, or I had the chance to thoroughly consider all the implication that I had. So, in this case, with people from the sector, you can really have a specific advice on what could be your best next move in order to achieve your goals. So that will really help you.
Yeah. And are there any books or podcasts you would recommend for our students?
So I read a couple of years ago Bad Blood by John Carreyrou, which is
Hmm.
an investigative journalist.
Hmm.
And this book covers the rise and the fall of Theranos, which
Hmm.
was a huge biotech startup founded by Elizabeth Holmes. And it
Hmm.
went from a 9 billion evaluation to nothing. And now she's in jail because they were claiming to do medical tests with just
Yeah.
one drop of blood, but they were faking results. So
Oh,
this really explained that you cannot joke with the regulatory requirements and how your device is intended to execute the performance is required to and meet the regulatory requirements.
interesting. Thank you for this advice.
Yeah, and there are several podcasts as well. So like MedTech on Air, Easy
Mhm.
Medical Device. So that's and anything you can find online through the RAP's webpage or think tank and consultancies might be interesting tools as well.
Thank you. And so lots of students struggling with stress due to academia or like personal things. What advice do you have for students who are struggling with stress? How to deal with it?
But you need to put everything in perspective. So I know that when you're in the middle of something, it's difficult to have the whole picture uh, in front of you, unfolded in front of you. So but really take one step at a time, take a deep breath, and try to focus on the moment. And each step of the way can bring you to your personal success or your professional success. But I know it's difficult when you're in the middle of it, but really take some time off to cool, to debrief, and to understand what you're doing and where you're going.
Thank you. And the last question is, what advice would you give to your younger self? Or maybe something you would have done differently?
And that's interesting. Uh, yeah, to probably waste less time, but to be more focused on your decision. But when you're a teenager, you don't have clear goals. You don't have a clear expectation of what you're required to do or what you need to do, and so you need to constantly adjust given on of something that is happening to your life. Uh, to my previous version, I would recommend to stay a bit more focused and to know more what's happening and what you need to know, and not to expect things falling from the sky. So that's it.